Okay, so let's continue with conflict in the workplace, because I feel like it's a topic we have to continually address. So understand, it's not a matter of if, it's just when conflict is going to happen. And then people have to be taught how to deal with conflict, because people, let's say they come from one company and they're used to just dealing with conflict by being passive aggressive or rude. Well, when they come to work for your company, because they got all this baggage that they're bringing, which you can recognize it, but it's difficult sometimes to unpack that. That's why the training is so important. Training people how to deal with conflict is very important. So understand that with conflict, there's a couple of goals in dealing with conflict. You want to, how can we resolve the conflict in the least amount of, with the least amount of impact on the least amount of people? So the least amount of impact on the person in the conflict and the person witnessing the conflict. We want to resolve it with the least amount of impact. And we also want to resolve it with the least amount of time. Like, how can we just, what's the problem? Okay, let's work to a solution. Be solution focused. Like, okay, let's sit down. This is our problem. Let's work through this. Let's move on. I think it's very important. And conflict, understand, is going to happen with, it can happen with anybody. It can happen between supervisor and employee, employee, consumer, customer, client, whatever you refer to your person as. It can happen in any of those relationships. So we have to have the mindset that it's not going to happen, but are we going to resolve it as quickly as possible? So some of the strategies to deal with conflict. Go talk to the person you have conflict with and not to others. Listen, it is very important that when you have conflict, that you be empowered to go talk to the person you have conflict with. Now understand this. Every one of us at work should have a work friend, somebody that you trust, that I can come to you and talk this thing out. Because sometimes for me, I just need to talk it out and hear myself say it. And then I'm like, oh, it's not that big a deal. But I got to have somebody I trust, because if you go to the wrong person and you share that conflict with them, they're going to, ooh, girl, they're going to hype you up and have you doing all kind of stupid stuff. So find that trusted person to go talk your conflict through and work it out. And if you can work it out and let it go, let it go. Please let it go. It's not worth it. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing, take immediate action. Don't let conflict drag on, because what it does, this minimizes the tension and it keeps it from morphing into some kind of beast of chaos. So you have to be able to deal with it as quickly as possible. Frame your discussion positively. Don't be like, we need to have some conflict resolution. No, come here, let's chat a little bit. We need to just talk about this thing, okay? This one's a very good one. Focus on the issue and not the person. Avoid personal attacks and focus on problem solving. Stop with the personal attacks when there's conflict. Look at you over there looking all, you know what I'm saying? Things that are just very personal, not necessary. Let's deal with the issue. The issue was, you said this, I responded this. Let's work through that. I don't have to attack you personally, your personality, your family, none of that. Let me just talk to you. We're going to work this thing out. That's the next one. And then practice active listening. And this one's hard, because sometimes we listen because we want to have something to say back. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to listen and let you finish. I'm not going to interrupt you. I'm going to listen to you, and then I can respond. So active listening. Each party should speak without being interrupted. This can be hard, but let the other person finish speaking before you respond. Listen to listen and not just to respond. If the discussion gets heated, it may be time to bring in a supervisor. And that's okay to bring in a supervisor, because that's what they're paid to do. But what we don't want to do is involve everybody else in this company in conflict. And then ask for proposed solutions. What's the solution for this? How can we get this worked out? So go to the person. Don't be defensive. Avoid the blame game. Listen actively. Begin statements with I. Tame your emotions. Show that you can compromise. Don't badmouth somebody else in the meeting. Don't take it personally. Pay close attention to nonverbal communication. Prioritize resolving the conflict over being right. Use humor when appropriate, and humor is a good thing to use. And remember the importance of the relationship, because you're going to have to come and spend time with this person every day, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, for years, okay? And so handle conflict in the workplace. Don't let it go unchecked. You have to deal with conflict. Have a great day. To God be the glory.